Hello and welcome to the crypto series presented by DeFi. My name is Andres and today we have the pleasure to speak about a very interesting topic, and that is decentralized finance, or in the short form, DeFi. To first understand what DeFi even is, we have to look at the word and split it up. We have decentralization and we have finance. First of all, we're only going to look at the finance part to really understand what DeFi is and why it's important. So finance, when we speak about finance, we have a lot of different things you can do in finance. You can send money, you can trade, you can loan money, you have insurance. And basically what DeFi is we take all of these different use cases of finance and put them on the blockchain. When did DeFi start? Many people look at the start of DeFi and think about 2020, because that's when different protocols like AAVE, like MakerDAO, really started gathering liquidity and kicking off the whole DeFi ecosystem. But we can go a little more back in time and look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is in fact the first real use case of decentralization, of decentralized finance. Bitcoin was the first use case where you could really send money from A to B without having to go through a centralized party. As I said, in 2020, the DeFi ecosystem really started to grow. This means that platforms like AAVE, MakerDAO, and so on built their protocols and started gathering liquidity. So what can you do right now in the DeFi space? Because the DeFi space is still in its very infancy, it's still at the very beginning. So with DeFi right now, you can actually work on two different main use cases. The first one being decentralized swapping or exchanging of assets, and decentralized lending. When you think about decentralized swapping, decentralized trading, the first and biggest company that we have in mind is Uniswap. Uniswap launched in 2020 and was the first real way of exchanging assets on Ethereum in a decentralized way. So instead of having to go to a centralized exchange like Binance, which is holding all of your keys, which is holding all of your tokens, you can now trade on the Ethereum blockchain in a non-custodial way, which means that you are the owner of your currencies. And this is the biggest impact and the biggest change in DeFi, that you have the power to control your assets. No one can go ahead, block your account. No one can tell you if you can trade or if you can't trade. One other big use case of DeFi, as I said, is decentralized lending. When thinking about decentralized lending, we can look at AAVE or Compound. On AAVE and Compound, what you can do is you have basically two parties. You have lenders and you have borrowers. So in a centralized way, when you want to borrow money, you go to a centralized party, you go to your bank, for example, you ask them for a loan, they may give it to you or they may don't. On AAVE and Compound, what you can do is you can provide collateral in a fully non-custodial way, and you can borrow up to a certain loan to value, which makes it extremely interesting for other decentralized finance applications. Since decentralized finance is basically everything you can do in finance but built on the blockchain, there is a lot more opportunity to go. Right now, there are people working on decentralized insurance, decentralized options trading, decentralized futures trading, decentralized synthetic assets in general, and so on and so on. The cool thing is about the DeFi space is that everyone can start building. You don't need any licenses. You can go ahead. If you have an idea, you can gather developers and start working, start building, and start shaping the whole decentralized finance ecosystem. So to summarize again, the DeFi space is still in its infancies. We are still starting. You can go on Ethereum, you can swap assets, you can lend money, you can insure your assets, you can do derivatives trading, you can do a bunch of things on decentralized finance right now, but as I said, we are still in the beginning. So if you liked this video, if this was informative for you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we see each other again in the next one. Bye bye.